Hi Virgos, and welcome to your November 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your energy coming up in the month of November. I hope that you are doing really well. It's kind of a crazy and wild month. I will prepare you guys up front. And I also feel that there's a new call for peace in your life and really detaching from some of these worried mindsets or difficulties that you've been going through. Something may be frustrating you coming out of October, and I think that the month of November is going to give you all the wake-up calls and present the new paths that you've needed to step out of that previous frustration. As you guys might know, if you saw the November comprehensive astrology video, which I'll link below and in the top right-hand corner, this is a month where we're going to be having a few tough collective transits. We've got T-squares happening as the Saturn-Uranus square starts to reconfigure, and then the personal planets in Scorpio, Sun, and Mars coming up to create a T-square angle. So what this means basically on the collective front is that we are being placed into a difficult series of questions, and the answers that we're having to do quickly are basically having pretty vast consequences for our lives and for long-term momentum. So it's kind of like constant question after question after question about how much especially you want to keep things the same and how much you really want to change your life. And it's like, I can't really advise you which direction you need to go, about whether you need to keep things a lot the same or whether you need to make a lot of changes. But I feel that everyone is kind of having to really set that scale in their own lives right now. And even in Libra season, they had to really set that scale. And now in Scorpio season, they've got to make choices based on the results that they found. So it's really illustrated well in your reading, Virgo, the Devil versus the Judgment card. Also, like the Devil versus the Star, they're kind of similar symbolism, you know. Of course, we can very easily see that the Star is a much nicer experience. What these two cards have in common is that there are two different momentums that we are stuck between, and we are choosing how we want to move forward with that. With the Star, it's coming from an authentic and vulnerable place. With the Devil, it's coming from usually a monetary focus or from a fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of what could happen, okay? So therefore, we usually tend to try to sustain what has worked for a long time just because we are worried to step out of that mold. So as we are going through some of these big choices, I feel that Virgo is coming in with the Emperor energy, with the Judgment energy, to really present a lot of these questions in a new way. I feel that you are really being a synchronicity in a lot of people's lives. So you might not even know what's going on, but you could like walk into other people's lives and all of a sudden you just feel like the energy changes, or you feel like you're regarded differently, or you feel that other people in your life are just changing so drastically. And it seems almost to be like catalyzed by your entrance or your dialogue within their life. So you are kind of like a catalyst in a lot of people's lives right now, I think, Virgo. And I feel like you've got to start being that in your own life, though, now, too. A lot of people might be coming to you for advice or coming to you to figure out some of the issues they've been having. And now you're going to have to free up a lot of time, I think, to figure yourself out or to figure out your special problems. I'm going to call them special problems, so that you can move forward on a more solid foundation yourself. But if you're not careful, other people will take up all your time and energy. And it's something that not just your sign is going through, but we have to be pretty clear or pretty intent on communicating that we need our own time during the month of November. Otherwise, it can just like really pass by quickly. And we can kind of see that, November of 2021, I really needed to kind of alter some things, or I needed to face some things. And gosh, now that I haven't done that, that's really going to be more of a can of worms than I thought. I mean, that's one way we can look back on this time. And another possibility is just the opposite, like through facing things here and now, and through knowing what you can and can't do anymore, you'll really set yourself up for a much easier time. But it can feel strange to face all this stuff here and now. So I feel that your sign, Virgo, doesn't have to be caught up in this T-square so intensely. Like, you can actually step back a little bit and observe a lot of things going on, and that can be a really prosperous place for you to be right now as well. But nonetheless, it feels like there are decisions that need to be made. So the dialogue that we're having right here and right now is perfectly evocative of a T-square. If you notice, I keep like making one statement, then I'm like, but it could be this over here, but it could be that over there. But did you think of it this way? It's kind of like the significance of this period of time in a way means that we've all taken on a little bit too much, or we've all overfilled our lives in an odd way, and it's created too many different perspectives to the degree that we can't hope to filter through it all. And November becomes a good opportunity to understand that and to adjust appropriately. More mundane intuitive messages for you, Virgo, in the month of November. What a great month to creatively craft something. What a great month to up your creative output, to start doing what you like to do instead of what's expected of you necessarily. And also to just spend some time in contemplation. Four of Cups, the Star, the Emperor, King of Wands. Creative contemplation about how things could be. Don't be afraid, to create a few documents or pieces of paper about how you want to move forward and different ways that you could do it, especially if you're feeling clash, if you're feeling incompatibility in how you're moving forward. Why not present it to yourself in multiple different ways and choose the best way forward from a more like top-down perspective? It's almost like it takes that for us to understand how to move forward now. Let's talk about your week-to-week, Virgo, in November and get some more concise messages. Okay, week number 1, you've got the Star rooted down by the Eight of Pentacles. Beautiful creative insight. How lucky you are with something that you're working on in the first week of November. How extremely lucky is it to have some of these dreams that you have? I would really trust them. So if you have like dreams that you haven't yet been able to manifest or step onto a physical path with yet, I almost think that's got to start happening in the first week of November. And to me, it feels like you can't fail by moving that direction in some way. Maybe it's not a complete hard stop on other things, but maybe you've got to really hang up some of these things. What do I mean by this? It's like you've got to maybe put some stuff on the back burner and actually start working on what you want to work on, okay? And really start to enjoy that. And know very keenly what's not going to be coming forward with you. Like, oh my gosh, Virgo, you would have no clue. Like, how many people I'm seeing psychically who just really need to move on from something, but they're refusing to do it. They're afraid that they're going to lose stability or security to it. So T-square, right? It's how it is. Saturn, Uranus square. The Scorpio energy is going to come through creating the T-square, and it's going to pop that bubble for some people. And it's going to be like, look, you're being given one of the most incredible opportunities that anyone could be given. And because it's so incredible, it's also pretty like high pressure, right? And there's a part of that that can be like the Devil card or the Star card, depending on how we filter through. But what I'm trying to say here is one of the most difficult things for people to do is to know what they want. And for that to be a sober, true thing and not some type of like compensatory pipe dream or some type of like coping process, basically. I feel that you've got that in the first week of November. Like, you know what you want, and it's not just a matter of coping and compensating, but it's really like aligned with your soul. That's really the hard part for a lot of people, but I'm seeing Virgo being like, well, but I need to keep up my 9-to-5 job, and I've got to keep up my consistency, and I've got to keep up doing what I've been doing for a long time. And that could be true, but keep an eye on what point in time that becomes like the Devil card, and at what point in time that being chained to that starts to take away from this dream that's like really perfect for you. I think it's something that we all have to think about, not just your sign, but your sign is really perceiving it. There's some type of star, there's some type of ray of hope or truth that you have to keep your eye out for in the first week of November. Week 2, Seven of Cups, rooted down by the Emperor. Illusions of grandeur can come in, yes, but I don't feel that that's what it is for you. But watch out for making things bigger than they have to be. You know, that very lucky yet small self-employed person trying to make a big company. You know, it never made sense to do that. Also trying to make what was meant to be like a temporary job a permanent one. Stuff like that. I'm seeing a lot of stuff like that right now, energetically, and kind of overdoing it, kind of pushing it past its limits. And that's where we have to be a good judge, right? The Emperor Judgment card, both together. The power and control you have over your output is maybe more than any other sign right now. But with that comes, like, I suppose, to be cliche, that responsibility, right? To not push yourself too far just for, like, money, or to not push yourself too far just for, I don't know, stature of some kind. Because as you pass that limit, it creates, like, a inversion in the future. It's like borrowing. It's like debt, you know, energetic debt. So I think that's a great way to think about that, and a good message for the third week too. The devil rooted down by judgment, energetic debt, right? And we're wanting to get out of that. I see Virgo. It's like Virgo's wanting to get out of that energetic debt. There has to be like a striking of the gavel, okay? And a new kind of regimen for you. Maybe it's less spending. Maybe it's more time in creative space. Maybe it's less being chained to something that is outworn, okay? And creating new bonds with things that are better for you now, or more appropriate. There's something a little bit inappropriate here, and I've got to be very honest with you, Virgo. I don't think it's just your sign, but I see a lot of people going through this right now. There's something a little bit inappropriate about the way I'm seeing people treat themselves right now for what they think is going to be a bridge to something better for them, when in reality they could have it like right now anyway. It really kind of freaks me out a little bit, and I want us to all think about this a little bit. Am I in emergency bridge psychology mode? I'm going to call it, where I never stop building a bridge, or I'm still trying to build the bridge when I've already connected to the other side. Now I'm starting like a bridge company because now I'm better at building bridges than I am at like actually getting somewhere. Oh my God, Virgos, do you feel that? Ooh, chills. Oh my God. I'm seeing a lot of Virgos and other signs like start bridge companies because they're so good at that now. And maybe that's genius in a way, but I want you guys to remember like why you started what you're doing now. What is the real foundation of it? Why? Try to not be overwhelmed by like, but look at me with my bridge company. It's like making me so much money. Why would that's like the devil card? It's like the devil card, and there's going to be there's going to be a reckoning for this type of thing. When we, I don't know, wake up 15 years later as a successful member of like FIRE community, like retiring early with huge accounts, but no sustenance in our lives. Wake it up now and use the beautiful life force energy that you have to prepare your path. This is where deadlines are a good thing. And I've talked about this for a few months on this channel now. So for some people, it's February 2022. For some people, it's like even New Year's of 2023. Yes, I understand we have to work very incrementally right now because we don't want to threaten our security. And some of us have committed so dearly to things that were never really right in the first place that we can't just stop. And that's what the devil card is. That's what that archetype is being committed to something that you wish you didn't have to do anymore, but you've got bills and you've got a mortgage to pay, and that and maintaining that to you has become more important than being on a path. And when I say you, I'm using a general you. I'm hoping that it doesn't resonate for anyone, any Virgo in this reading. We've really got to see it now, right? Third week of last part of Scorpio season, cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius, is all about overcoming this stuff. It's about breaking out of those bonds as the Scorpio type Plutonian energy, powerful, uses that potency to expand past the previous, and then Sagittarius emerges and it's like flames and freedom and loftiness and capability, you know? That's also where the sun is at during this time. So what a great time, third week of November. Wow. These Virgo readings, I'm telling you, Virgo readings lately for me have been like where the psychic energy is at. But third week of November, that's when you need to know what chains you need to break, what bondage you need to take yourself out of. And even if you can't do it yet, because I suppose the devil archetype has been victorious and overcome others, the least we can do is set a deadline, okay? And know kind of how, but like really, that's where this sitting in the first and second week of November with what we really want to do, with what we really want to move into, is the best thing, because then we start to sell ourselves on it, right? We start to feel that it is better for us. And I'm just getting a few psychic downloads. Bear with me, Virgo. I mean, it can go either way in the third week of November. It can be like the devil, or it can be like the judgment card. You know? I really feel that the universe gives signs. And I really feel that if the universe is very happy with where we're at, that we feel comfortable. And if we don't feel comfortable, if we don't feel like we can get the resolution we need, I feel that it's just the universe trying to say, you know, it's not a wrong path because it has worked, but at the same time, you could do better. There's a little bit of that here, okay? And also in the third week, a potential huge wake-up call, right? And being like, oh my God, I finally know exactly what I need to do. It's like the judgment image, you know, like, wow, I see it. Fourth week, King of Wands, you have rooted down by the Four of Cups. Fire and water. I kind of think that you might be blessed to think about how you want to portray this next chapter. Really taking some time, only if here, because I don't think that this energy can be problematic if it's inverted too much on itself or if it's spent too much time in. But I think that you could do well to think more about who you want to be, how you want to embody your life force, how it looks, how it comes across, how it projects. Virgo tends to love that type of thing anyway. But it seems like it needs more thought. Maybe this is an upgrade to your identity. Maybe this is an upgrade to your, I don't know, your stage name or your creative outlet or something. Maybe it's an upgrade to the genres of music you listen to. Maybe it's an upgrade to a lot of things, but it needs thought. Because I feel that sometimes Virgo has just been moving too quickly. And basically where you're at now is a result of many, many decisions made really quickly, and it's created this kind of like scrambled thing. And you've got to think more about it in the fourth week. Okay? Overall, though, Virgos, for November, crucial. Crucial is the word that comes to mind. Oh my gosh. It's really... It's overwhelming to me how important just the mindset in this month is, and the knowing of things. The knowing, even if it's not yet action, even if it's not yet change, even if it's not yet there. The knowing has got to be here at the latest by now. And that's what really causes change, is the knowing of things. Not just the happening of random events, but the knowing of the need for something to be different, the knowing of the need for something to be more appropriate for oneself. Inappropriate is a word that kept coming up. It's not for Virgo specifically, but just about the energy of this month, and especially when it comes to the relationship with the self. Are we pushing ourselves too hard to meet deadlines? Is this a good quality? Do we like the quality of our experience now? Let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Virgo. Again, overall this month, the knowing has to come in. You've got a lot of power, and really look at that first week. Okay, think of how you can be blessed by what is there for you, and let that just override all this negative stuff. But let's talk more about working on the implementation process of this knowing in your extended reading on Patreon. I'll link it below and in the center of your screen. If you haven't checked out the Patreon page yet, I would definitely recommend it. I do weekly updates on Saturday, and I do these readings early and ad-free with extendeds. So come and check it out. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great month. Bye.